Hi friends, it's Sudhya from Backyard Garden Highlights. Hope you guys are doing great today. Today I'm planning to transplant bare root peony that I potted a couple of weeks before, and they actually started nice shoots. It's almost near to spring. Sorry guys if you are hearing any noise. The weather started warming up and everybody is on their lawn to clean up for mowing the lawn. So you may hear some background noise. I'm sorry for that if you hear it. Hopefully the mic picks up most part of my voice. Today I thought I will go and check how the soil looks for transplanting my bare root peony. I could see the soil has warmed up nicely. For next 10 days the weather looks really nice. So I thought I will go ahead and transplant these peonies that I have potted up few weeks before. So let me show you guys how to transplant the bare root peony plants, or the one you might have potted from fall planting, or the one you have potted after you purchased from the garden center. Before transplanting these bare root peonies, let's talk about these plants. Basically peonies are long living perennial and they come back reliably more than 50 plus years. And I have heard somebody saying that they have been seeing these plants like for the third generation. So you could imagine how reliable this perennial plant is. And the next interesting factor about peonies like to be in the cold weather. They want to be in freezing cold during their dormancy. Zone 3 to 8 they perform very well. Next thing, let's talk about the sun requirements. Peonies are a great plant for any garden type because they love to be growing in full sun as well as in part shade. Don't hesitate that you don't get full sun. Feel free to plant these bare root peonies if you have a part shade. They do definitely wonderful in the part shade as well. I personally experienced it. My previous house owner had the peony, and since when we moved in, the plant's coming every year without any kind of excuses for us. The entire plant covered with the tons of blooms, and that raised bed I'm talking about is my front yard flower bed, and that's underneath a tree, so that gets partial shade. However, they performed so far wonderfully. You can definitely plant them in the part shade. Only thing is the soil requirement is critical. Like most of the other plants, they also don't want to be sitting in the water, so you need to make sure the soil is well draining for the peonies before you could plant them. Third thing is peonies doesn't really require much fertilizer. If I want to be honest, I never knew how to grow these plants until I started gardening in 2020. 2020 spring, I did not really do anything for the garden because I was just watching what's coming up and what plant it is and how to take care of them. I was just going through my learning curve with all the landscape plants that I had in this house. So peonies, I did not fertilize them at all for 2019 when we moved in December, and 2020 spring, and 2021 I think I used some fertilizer, but I didn't really see much difference. So peonies are not really asking you to fertilize them as long as you give them enough nutrients through the organic soil. That's all they need. They just need the nice compost before you could plant them. Today I'm going to use the compost that I have saved from my last fall to this year. Make sure you prepare the soil in a way that it has at least 8 inches of compost and the soil is fluffy and the location you choose has very well drainage. When there is a continuous rain and snow, it should not be very wet during those periods. So you need to make sure. Let's talk about how much space you need to leave for them to nicely spread, because peonies, they come reliably. So they spread actually. When you plant, you may be planting with 3 to 4 eyes now, but down the line you may see 10, 12, 15 plants, up to 15 plants, because that's what I am seeing in my other raised bed garden where I could see almost 10 to 15 plants. Every plant produce at least 3 to 4. They look like a bush and entire plant will be covered with nice blooms, and the bloom size is really huge for peony. make sure to leave at least 36-inch spacing between each plant. That way you have enough room for them to nicely naturalize for you in your raised bed garden. If you are planning to have these plants in the raised bed where you have so many plants there, then you need to make sure they are not getting 100% shade from the other plants. The reason I am saying this, I have learned that from my previous year experience. I got peony last year and I have planted 2 peonies in the raised bed that was open. Until the plant is established, even though they are deer resistant, they are not 100% deer resistant. The deer will come and munch them little bit. If the plant is very well established, they will be able to survive. But it was my first year and the new growth was coming, and as soon as the new growth comes in, I don't know whether that's the deer or squirrel or bunny, I don't know what has actually liked that plant. They ate the new growth as soon as they come in. The plant tried couple of times to put up new growth once they have been munched, but unfortunately after a couple of weeks the heat started, the summer started, and the plant did not really make it. So that's a learning. If you are really planting this peony in the open ground and where you have all these problems like deer, rabbits, squirrel, then you may need to protect the plant. Another peony that I have planted in my fenced garden, that started, and it was a great gift last year. Because peonies mostly they don't bloom in the first year and they will bloom in the next year only. But this peony that I got from bricks last year, it produced a nice bud, but unfortunately that was also ate by, I don't know, some critter. So I couldn't enjoy the bloom, but the plant did produce nice flower bud for me. But the learning from my last year is actually I planted that near the Shasta daisy. Shasta daisy actually grown vigorously than I was imagining or I was expecting. So what happened to the peony is like they got 100% shade throughout the summer season. So they couldn't really put up nice growth. I don't know whether they are still surviving or they are going to come back or they did not make it. I have to wait for next few weeks and see what's going to happen for that peony. I'm not planning to dig them up right now because peony roots don't like to be disturbed very frequently. I just planted last year, so I want to get them established so that I can watch and then make a correction. So that's definitely a good suggestion, I would say, based on my experience. If you are planning to plant peony for the first time, think all those aspects, like whether any surrounding plants, is it going to completely smash the plant during storm or is it going to completely provide shade, and also think in the way that how much it is going to grow down the line. That way you will make sure that you don't end up digging the plant again and again. Especially with the peony, they don't like to be digged up multiple times throughout their growing season. So this time I'm not going to disturb them. I'm going to leave them and see how their reaction, how their growth is going to be, if they are alive, if they are going to come. I'm going to monitor that. With that experience, I'm thinking that I'm making a right choice of the location for these 3 new peonies that I'm going to transplant today. I think I covered most part of what I have learned from peony growing last year. I'm not successful with growing the peony last time, and I have explained why. So hopefully I don't repeat the same mistake this time. I hope I don't plant any taller plants nearby them. Let's see. Let me take you guys to the garden and show you how to transplant these bare root peony plants. I'm going to plant this coral sunset peony here. I have actually digged almost half of it, and I'm going to put some compost here before planting them, and make sure it is some organic matter. And then I'm just going to take this peony that I have potted, place this bare root and make sure crown is in at least 1 inch below the soil level, and don't bury them too much. And then cover it with soil and gently tap on the soil so that the air pockets can be removed. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for all the support you have been providing. It's really encouraging me to continue to do a lot in my garden and film that and share it with you guys. I have got so many good friends in the garden community. I really want to take an opportunity to thank each one of you who have been interacting with me through the comment section and by sharing it with your friends. Thank you so much again for all the love and support you have been providing to me. Alright guys, hope you guys liked watching this video. I'll see you in another video. Please support my channel by subscribing, commenting and sharing it with your friends.